Through the power of news telling and the wisdom of spiritual insight, I believe a daily dose podcast like this is what you need to empower you, our listeners, to be active participants in the dialogue that shapes our future. This is not just a podcast about information. This is a podcast about transformation. It's about inspiring change, fostering unity, and embracing the values that hold the key to a brighter tomorrow. A daily dose podcast is what your child needs to be focused on. It's what your daughter needs to be focused on in order to get empowerment and insight. So whether you're a seasoned advocate for change, or an inquisitive mind understanding, or someone simply curious about the world around you, I invite you to join me on this exciting expedition. Together, we will navigate the twists and the turns of our nation's narrative, guided by the light of knowledge, compassion, and the spiritual discernment that I've managed to pick up through my previous years. Thank you for choosing to be a part of the Daily Dose with Michael Kimei, and I'm honored to be alongside you as we embark on this transformative quest together. This is a Daily Dose, and we're reporting live from Michael Kimei. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to a Daily Dose with Michael Kimei. I'm your favorite host. Today, who am I? Why am I here in your podcast? My name is Michael Kimei, 35 years old, Tanzanian, businessman and entrepreneur. Welcome to my Daily Dose podcast. This is going to be coming out every day. Welcome on board. Today, I start off by introducing myself and letting you know who am I. Very important question, isn't it? I am a Tanzanian residing in Dar es Salaam. I'm reporting live from Mikocheni. Welcome to a Daily Dose. What is the passion around this podcast? The passion around this podcast is getting to know one another, listening to viewers, sharing my observation and my experience and knowledge with the world. Welcome to my podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. What will our podcast be about? Our podcast will be thoroughly freestyle. We'll be discussing the current issues happening around Tanzania. We'll be talking about entertainment news. We'll be touching on sports news. We'll be touching on political and business news. Even the gossips, we'll talk about them right here at the Daily Dose. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next question is, what makes our podcast unique? We have a good cameraman behind the camera. We have a good host. And we believe that with a good vision, that makes us unique. Who is the target audience? The target audience is anybody that looks good, anybody that loves themselves, anybody that wants to do better for their family. We're looking for the corporate people, we're looking for the government people, we're looking for the sports players, we're looking for all types. So there's no audience, we are diving in. What can listeners expect in each episode? As mentioned above, each episode will focus on business insights around Tanzania. It will focus on political issues around Tanzania and East Africa. It will focus on entertainment news locally and internationally. And then we'll touch on sports locally and internationally. We both are deep. This is an amazing podcast and we love it. We love it already. Another question that we got, what inspired me to start this podcast? Honestly speaking, is I always wanted to share, and this was the only place I could. This is the easiest place that I could reach 1 million people just by this video. So this is the best place to share, and I have a lot to share. How often will the episodes be released was the next question. We are trying to make it a daily podcast, hence a daily dose. So we are trying to make it daily, excluding Sundays. So watch out for that. We'll be doing daily shoots. Some will be audio and some will be videos. We're still working out a team and a structure, but expect good things to come. How can listeners connect or engage? This is a very, very, very important question. How can listeners connect and engage? And this is through our website. We will have a website which will be a blog, which will be discussing all the issues that we are looking at. in the podcast will be created there as content, and people will be able to send their questionnaires, people will be able to ask for certain additional information. We will have a chat app there that will allow to chat with our people. And if anybody also wants to participate in this podcast, the website will allow you to register and then hopefully come in and share your views. So the website is coming up. Look out for that. It's going to be on our social applications, our Facebook, and everything else we'll share with you as you're watching this on the link below. The next question was, what do I hope listeners gain from this podcast? We're looking at value additional information. We're looking to draw the youth and the people that don't listen to certain things to be able to find it all in one place. You know, there's people that like sports, they don't even follow political news, but they don't have a platform that can give them both at the same time. This is one of it. So I believe that listeners will gain a lot of impact. They'll also receive knowledge, they'll receive network and information, and they'll receive a place they can share their ideas and ask questions. So this is the platform. Is there any upcoming highlights or special episodes? Oh hell yeah, there's special episodes. We've got a political parliament member coming in. We've got a musician that will be coming in. We've got filmers coming in. We've got all types of people coming in, and maybe soon even the president. And how can the listeners support our podcast? This is the last question, but very, 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 very important. Listeners can support us by sending a contribution. Listeners can support us by tuning in. Listeners can support us by clicking the like button. Listeners can support us by sharing their views, sharing their researches, sharing their questions of life that we can include in our content. So listeners, you can do so much more than just watch, but you can do a lot more to help us also better ourselves. Yes, tell client number 101 that his budget has been declined. Thank you for joining me back at the podcast. Through the power of news telling and the wisdom of spiritual insight, the daily podcast with Michael Kimei seeks to empower you, our listeners, to be active participants in the dialogue that shapes our future. This podcast is not just about information. It's about transformation. It's about inspiring change, fostering unity, and embracing the values that hold the key to a brighter future. So whether you're a seasoned advocate for change, an inquisitive mind seeking understanding, or someone simply curious about the world around you, I invite you to join me on this exciting expedition. Together, we will navigate the twists and turns of our nation's narrative, guided by the light of knowledge, compassion, and spiritual discernment. Thank you for choosing to be a part of A Daily Dose with Michael Kimei, and I'm honored to stand alongside you as we embark on this transformative quest together. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you